Oh, it has been a while. My voice is very croaky. It is very much the morning. Because a lot of things have happened. And we're going to get into it. So many things. Hello. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? So welcome. My name is Lizzie, and I am the owner of Thistle and Bud. If you don't know what that is, basically, I do fantasy art, and I sell it on my online store. So yeah, and that's basically what I do. We make t-shirts, hoodies, because we are now in the autumn. That's why I say it's a hot minute, because the last time I actually realistically put a video up, it was kind of like late spring, early summer. And there were some big gaps, and there's some reasons for that we're going to get into. This is going to be a talky one today, but before we get into that, I haven't completely lost the plot. What we're going to do is quickly talk about the fact that there are some things that you need to do right now. So there is a subscription button for this channel. You can go down and subscribe to this channel. It helps this channel out a lot. And you might be thinking, well, if she's not going to post all that much, what's the point? There is still a point, and you should still do it. And then you should go and hit the notification bell, because YouTube, in its infinite wisdom, will not actually tell you if I post a video unless you hit that notification bell. And more precisely, you need to hit the notification bell on the little arrow and go and tell it to notify you. Now, you'd think that if you hit the notification bell, it would do that anyway. Alas, it does not do such a thing. And the rules have changed. You now need to hit the little arrow and tell it to, which is slightly annoying. But, it takes about 30 seconds of your life. And I, for one, if I believe that I can't eat a Mars bar in that length of time, and I do like Mars bars, then it realistically hasn't taken any time out of my day. So it won't take any time out of your day. So please go ahead and do that. And once you're at it, why not quickly pause and go ahead and like the socials as well. So you can find me at Instagram, which is Thistle and Bud _arts. You can go find me on Pinterest, which is just Thistle and Bud. You can go and find me on Facebook, which is Thistle and Bud as well. You can find me on TikTok, although I don't really post there all that much, but you can find me on TikTok as well. Also, Thistle-Bud. And yeah, and of course, you can find me at my own web store, where I host a blog, and there I do post a little bit more often. So you will find me on there. When I say a little bit more often, I mean like roughly once a week is where you'll find me there. And you'll find that at www.thistleandbud.com. Have you gone and done all those things? Statistically speaking, only 7% of you will. And given that there's not a huge following on this page, that's a very small number. So prove the statistics wrong, my friends, and go ahead and do that. So let's get into it, shall we? This is going to be a chatty one. I have got my coffee here. It's inside my pumpkins mug. Yes, it is a Starbucks pumpkins mug. It came from about 3 years ago, and I, for one, believe that my coffee tastes better in it. So that's what I'm doing. And yes, it is pumpkin spice. So we are in September right now when I am recording this. The lovely month of September. I am a fall person. So I absolutely love September. We're in my studio. My studio is all decorated for autumn. I have this wonderful backing because I usually have things behind me that I don't necessarily want people to see. But it's that wonderful time of the year. But what happened? So, late spring, I ended up catching a really nasty bout of effectively laryngitis, and I couldn't talk, not for days, not for weeks, but kind of like on off for months, or probably a month and a half. As in, like, my voice would be fine one day and then not the next. And it was just, it was an interesting time. It was an interesting time. I did put up a little short where you can hear how bad my voice got. No idea how I caught it, probably from my son. No idea what was going on there or anything else. But either way, I call this horrific bout of laryngitis, and it absolutely ruined my vocal cords. And then after that, I had a fair few bits of work. I have been working on 2 books. I'm still working on a third, but I worked on 2 books for Thistle and Bard Adventures. We'll get onto that in a bit. For Thistle and Bard Adventures, and a free PDF as well. So I have been doing that. And yet life became very busy immediately after, or while I was having laryngitis, but immediately after it as well, which just meant like there just wasn't enough hours in the day. There just was not enough hours in the day. And then most recently, and this is the reason that we're on here, I had a major life change. So let's rewind a bit to when I restarted this channel. I had just left a TTG, Tabletop Gaming, employer. Because of all sorts of reasons that I put in that video. I will list that video at the end of this one if you want to watch it. It's quite long. The lighting is terrible. I'm looking very washed out today because there is a lot of light coming in through this window here, but I quite like the sunshine. So I'm not going to blot it out. You're just going to have to deal with me looking like a ghost, which is apt given the time of year. So yeah, I left a TCG company because for all sorts of reasons, and I went into this, and this is what I did. And then I think the world blew up, basically. Not literally, although in some places of the world it did, but figuratively speaking, the world blew up. So obviously the year before, the EU changed its rules on allowing people to sell to anyone inside the EU because it wanted to push its own markets. And that's really the reason why is it wanted to push its own markets. It declared that anything that was not made outside of the EU was inherently dangerous. And I did a few YouTube videos where I did point out that I found it highly unlikely that anyone in the EU was going to eat a sticker. But there we go. So that happened, and that happened literally in the middle of Christmas, which unfortunately for me, immediately after that Christmas, and I didn't really say anything. I saw about 50% of my of people that I knew who had a shop similar to me, just shut their shops because most of their customers were in Europe and they just lost access to all of them in one fell swoop with roughly 2 weeks notice. So there's that. And then most recently, we have had issues in America with tariffs and being able to send stuff to America, or actually more precisely, Americans being able to receive stuff in America, because realistically, the sending's not the problem. It's the receiving end that's the issue. So yeah. And that has been going on and off for the better part of 6 months. I have been watching a lot of businesses just turn around and go, hopefully that this is just farewell for now and not farewell forever. But when you think about the fact that the people who are doing these things could well be in the positions that they're in for the next 3 to 4 years, that's a long time to wait. So a lot of them, it is farewell forever. It's a very sad time. Things are pretty dark, which is why I think the need for fantasy-inspired things is greater now than it ever was before. So it has been quite hard for Thistle and Bud over the last 6 months. Quite hard. It was manageable, and then the summer hit, and from like July, and it just became very hard. So the punchline of this, as you may have read, is the fact that I have taken on something else. Now you might think, wow, surely Thistle and Bud has got your attention like for everything forever. Yes. And also no. I am a big believer in being able to eat and keep a roof over my head while still keeping Thistle and Bud open. And I have taken, I am now working with an RPG company. Now, some of you who did watch the previous video are going to turn around and go, but you said that you were never going to take up anything with that side of things like ever again. It's like, no, that's not exactly what I said, but it was going to take the right company to persuade me that this was going to be a good idea. So I have taken up something with another RPG company. As with the first video, I'm not going to say anything about that RPG company and who I'm currently working with or for, or what exactly it is that I'm doing, because that I do not work for their marketing department. That's not my job, and I do not. This video is not sponsored, and it's a thing. I'm only at this point, as I'm recording this, about 2 weeks in, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes. And I'm very happy. Yeah, you heard that right. I'm very happy. I've had 2 weeks working with these people. And let me tell you, at the moment, bear in mind things can always change, but at the moment, they are very much the people that could have persuaded me to come back. What, definitely. And I am very much enjoying it currently. So that means that because I'm doing that as well, I have so much less time. And at the same time, we're in a downturn at the moment. Now, I put up on my Instagram the intimate reasons why I chose to take up this position that I'm doing with this RPG company. So if you want the details on that, go to my Instagram, like my Instagram page, and like Thistle and Bud's Instagram page, and you can go and watch that. I've done it I did it as a live because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do it for 3 minutes of a reel, but I did do it as a live. But yes, so that is basically what's happened. Thistle and Bud, however, is going nowhere, to the point where I've even purchased and secured the domain of thistleandbud.com for a further 2 years. Because I believe fervently that despite how dark things are at the moment, Thistle and Bud can weather this storm. I choose to believe that. Whether or not that happens, and that's true, that is what I choose to currently believe, is that Thistle and Bud can weather this storm. and I can weather it with you guys. So yeah. So like I said, this is a very kind of like talky video, and that's what it basically is. I suppose that I should. I don't do these with the script, by the way. I suppose that I should go into a little bit of detail, not loads, but a little bit of detail about what things are going to look like going forwards. Currently, Thistle & Bud does not get that many orders. I have a lot of Americans, because I am one of the few that does still ship to the US. I have a lot of Americans questioning how I can get things to them. Can I do it without delays? You know, and the simple answer is I can't guarantee anything. No one, there isn't a single shipping provider that will guarantee a delay-free service to the United States at the moment. Not a single one. There's a few reasons for that. One, because things just, you know, the current situation, like there was no notice. No one, I don't think even the poor people at the US customs knew. So, yeah, things just seem to change too rapidly, and no one will guarantee anything. I never shut down to the US, even when some people did. I never shut down to the US. And yeah, so that has meant that there has been a reduction in sales with Thistle & Bud. It's been a reduction for everyone, anywhere that sells to the US, and anyone in the UK that sells to the US and Europe, as I previously mentioned. I am by far, I'm not alone. Like, it's there are hundreds of us that have this at the moment. And I don't know, but I may well be doing better than some of them. In fact, I know that I am, because a lot of them have closed. But here we are. This is not the year of the 5th anniversary of Thistle & Bud that I was hoping for, but here we go. And Thistle & Bud, by the way, is 5 years old. 5 years old, which is pretty incredible. So yeah, so no one will do anything. And that is basically, I had my first quarter where Thistle & Bud made negative growth. Every company tries to make growth. That is the aim of a company. But that was the first quarter that Thistle & Bud made negative growth. I physically shrunk as a business. I made no money, and I spent more money trying to make money than I received, because sometimes you have to. And I do not believe that if you are a smallish micro business like Thistle & Bud, if you are an owner of such a business, that you should ever be stuck. Like, that is what you do now, and you will live or die by that sword. Absolutely not. And so I decided, I did go and look a little bit. I decided that it was time to seek for some additional income, because I started Thistle & Bud in the method that you see here, in kind of the kind of 2020, 2021, hence 5 years. And the reason that it was set up was for a few reasons. One, because I wanted a little bit of extra cash. I was in a very difficult situation at the time, and I needed money to extricate myself from it. And also to provide my son with the little holidays and things that he was used to post that. And also because obviously at that time COVID was a thing. So I wasn't confident that I should put all my eggs in one basket. And this is another one of those times. We don't have a pandemic per se at the moment. I mean, COVID hasn't exactly gone away, but we just don't talk about it as much anymore. It's one of those times again where life yet again is a little bit darker. And again, I am not putting all of my eggs in one basket. And thus, I am going to be working for this RPG company. And that's pretty much why. Because, like I said, I like to eat and I like to have a roof over my head. So, yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to have another drink before I lose my voice again. It's quite early in the morning and that's why. So, yeah, that is basically it. So what's going to happen going forwards? Well, I always view dark times as an excellent time to invent, to try new things, because realistically, if very little is kind of moving, as it is at the moment, I've just launched a fantastic, and I know I say that, and I am absolutely biased, but if I do say so myself, a fantastic autumn range that is, there is something there for everyone, whether you like pumpkins, whether you like vampires. There's even a murder mystery box that is going out at the moment because the theme is ghost stories and mystery and all of that kind of good stuff. So even, you know, so even if you are into kind of like your light academia, or you want all your pumpkin spice, there's something for you. And if you're kind of like, no, I want like true Halloween gothic, there's something for you there too. Go and check it out. So I did launch it, and I'm going to tell you now, launch day did not go terribly well, and that is usually an indication of how Christmas will go. Not always, but usually that is an indication of how Christmas will go. I'm still going to release stuff for Christmas. I'm just aware that that is a thing. And I think the reason for that is because people just have got nothing at the moment. We're being taxed to everything that we possibly can, and we just don't have any money spare. So, yeah. So with less people physically supporting, now is a good time to experiment and try new things. Hence, there is currently a murder mystery box. I've never done one of those before. And we're going to go and do that. And for the first time, you will be able to grab your subscription for it. It doesn't arrive all at once. You will get it over 3 consecutive issues, just like you would do one of those collector's magazines. There, you can now get the subscription for that directly through the Thistle & Bard page. Absolutely. I have got some ideas for a card game based off that murder mystery box called Murder at Moonstone Manor. That's the mystery box. And if I do and I have an idea for a card game, and obviously that will require a lot of art pieces for it. And I have an idea for that. That could be a good opportunity for me to run my first Kickstarter. Kickstarters do seem to do reasonably okay. I have a few ideas of going back away from digital stuff like this, and pulling out all of my traditional media again, my paints and my pens and everything else, and giving that a go. It's probably going to look a bit all over the place because I haven't touched those mediums for years in some cases. And you're probably going to see a shift towards some more RPG style pieces, because as an artist, I cannot help but be influenced by life. And my life is surrounded by RPG. Or RPGs, a number of them. So yeah, so I am very, very excited about being able to just explore again. And yes, I will probably do some of that on this channel as well. And yeah, you will be able to obviously see even more of it on my blog too, which is where I'm going to be posting kind of more regularly, as I said. Anyway, with all of that excitement that will hopefully be coming, there's obviously going to be some pauses, but that'll hopefully be coming. The other big announcement is that currently, and bear in mind that December is still some months away, so I may change my mind. I'm not sure if I will be doing Vlogmas this year. I've done Vlogmas for, I think, 2 or 3 years running now. Definitely 2. I'm not sure that I will do one this year. And again, there are a few reasons for that. One, I'll be working on the RPG, and that I cannot film. Like, the stuff belongs to another person. And I also, so I won't have, so I will be doing that, which I can't film. And also, I am in a situation at the moment where there is a possibility that I will have to move. So the place that I'm currently sitting in, this spot here, is the building owner wishes to basically sell, which is what they're currently doing. They've been doing so for a while, but is what they're currently doing. So basically, I'm just waiting to see if I have to leave or not. Now, the best thing to happen will be for it that I don't have to leave. But if they decide to do something else with this, or they decide to change things, then obviously I will have to leave, and then I will have to move. So if that happens, my greatest concern is the fact that it will happen over Christmas, which will royally suck. But it will happen over Christmas, or early into the new year. And it may not, but it is my genuine concern. Technically, after this month, we're on a rolling agreement, because the expectation was that by September it would sell, but the building hasn't. So we're on a rolling agreement, which means that it's very tense, and at any point at the end of any month, we could potentially be told to leave and move. So we're kind of going from stage to stage, and that brings me to my next point, which is print on demand. This Lombard now has a lot of print on demand products. Is this the way that we wanted to go? There are going to be some people who turn around and say that I've sold out. If you're one of those keyboard warriors, please go and pass to someone else. Preferably someone who cares about why you're deciding to be a keyboard warrior. So there are a lot of print on demand products. There's a few reasons for this. One, in order to try and alleviate the inherent issue of the US, because it allows things to potentially be made in the US, and thus people in the US won't have to pay tariffs, which is the fundamental part here. I'm going to try and close this window a little bit more, because actually the sun has now moved. Aha, look at that. And there is also the fact that I then have to have less stock. Because if I have less stock, I can move faster if I need to, whilst the business can still remain open. So yeah, I have deliberately picked a 2 or 3, currently 2, may become 3, providers of print on demand whose quality of products is definitely something that I would be that I am happy to sell, and that's a big deal. But the quality is good enough that I am happy to sell. And you won't have to go anywhere. You'll still be able to buy it through the Thistle and Bard store on the website. You'll still be able to do it from there. But that also means, like I said, that Thistle and Bard can stay open, even if everything needs to be packed up. So I'm basically future-proofing in the same way I've taken up a position with an RPG company. It's just future-proofing. It's making sure that Thistle and Bard is still here to use the 2 years of domain that I have purchased, at least, and hopefully we'll purchase more. And then, yeah. It's good, like I said, it's good quality, and it allows me even to bring out products that I didn't think I would be able to do. Clothing, for example, would be very hard for me to do without print on demand, because I would have to pretty much loan a warehouse in order to stock all of the different sizes. And it is how I've been doing my shoes, because I have a very good company who can print my designs on shoes. And I absolutely love my shoes. Ever since I started making them, I have not gone back. I don't wear anything else other than my shoes. And that's not for like PR purposes. It's because they're just so damn comfortable. I currently have a set of Vampiro shoes because it's autumn. So I have some little vampire shoes. It was a hard choice between Little Vampiro and Little Pumpkin, but I chose Vampiro. I will bring out a winter design as well. It won't be let me get that right. It won't be a Christmas design. It will be a winter design, because that's a very short period of time to wear some shoes. And yeah, so that will allow Thistle and Bard to continue. And then we have Thistle and Bard Adventures. So the biggest thing that has happened since Thistle and Bard turned 5 is that Thistle and Bard now has a publishing side. And we've already published a few books. I'll say we, because I am not solely responsible for all of the things that are on there. So I do a lot of the writing there. So I would never be able to bring out enough things for Thistle and Bard Adventures by myself. And thus I use a group of artists. And they all run, they're all over the world, and they all go under, they're basically, it's like a conglomerate. But it's LS Designs. I can't remember if it's incorporated or limited, but yes. So there we go. They are very small, which means that it's a manageable cost, and I still get to do some of the artwork as well, obviously. So a lot of backgrounds. So I have been working on Thistle and Bard Adventures for a little while. And I'm not talking about months, I'm talking about probably kind of like a year plus. And its first few books have just started coming out. In the last one in August. So we've always had books on Thistle and Bard every so often, ones that I have written, and these ones aren't that dissimilar. I have written. But for the first time, we do have some RPG books in there. I'm going to say, there are some people going to ask how I can work for an RPG company and still do this. I can. It just requires permissions. And for the first time, we have RPG content on there, because I am very big into RPGs. I always have been. I'm not saying that because now I'm affiliated with one in some regard. I have always had a love for role-playing games. All the big ones, and I have books galore of the niche ones. So I absolutely adore role-playing games, and I play almost every Saturday. So I'm big into them. And I wanted to create, so I wanted to get into creating some that didn't require you to have to play it with a particular system, that were generic or had a clear conversion appendix, so that you could play it with any one of the big five. And if you don't know what the big five are, we're talking kind of Dungeons and Dragons, Call of Cthulhu, all of those kind of things. The big five. And that's basically what I've been working on. So a free sample was launched when I did the 5th anniversary for Thistle and Bard. A free sample was launched then. And then the first printed module that I've been working on with stats and bits and pieces for a while, like in my spare time, a while. There were a couple of bits that I'd thought of even before I left my previous job with the TCG company. And that's how long we're talking. And that finally came out in August, because these things can take time. That finally came out in August. And we had the Violet Crucible turn up, and officially at that point, Thistle and Bard Adventures was started. And then in addition to that, as a side project, it didn't take as much time because the art was already there. We also released Wormfire, which is a collection of the dragon artwork pieces that have been done across many, many years, even before Thistle and Bard started. So, or at least started in the way that it is now. And that's like basically a small art book. Why did I do that? Because I had always wanted to do one. And I, like I said, Thistle and Bud Adventures is definitely a we, because I do not own a printing factory. I do not own a bank of artists. I say own. I do not have a bank of artists who I can work out to. I don't have, I don't have a lot of things. It takes a bit of a united effort. So I am working with a bookbinding factory, some people who will physically produce the book or books. Talking about the future here. And I'm obviously working with a small group of predominantly Singaporean, but a small group of artists that I pay to have some pieces made for me. Get out of it. Little midges everywhere at the moment. So yeah. And that is what Thistle and Bard Adventures is. It's the own publishing side of Thistle and Bard, but it is not solely just me. It's the first time that I've actually I want to use the word collaborated, although I'm not entirely sure that's the correct word. This little midge is like intent. You guys can't see it, but it's like buzzing around in like front of my face. And that's what Thistle and Bud is. So it's not just down to me. And I suppose it is a collaboration of sorts, because I have to work with people in order to in order to make all the creative side bits work and eventually have all of the little different things come together as a whole. But yeah, so that's what Thistle and Bard Adventures is. At the moment, there are a couple of books available on there. You can find them in the book section of Thistle and Bard, and if you are looking specifically for the what I'm hoping is an ongoing sequence of digital freebies that you can download from time to time that will get updated, then the adventures page also has that as well. So yeah, that is the update for Thistle and Bard. My coffee is progressively going cold because I've spoken for so long. So that is the update for Thistle and Bard. Expect to see some new content because I want to do some more. It is a want. How is the question mark, but it is a want. I want to do some more. Expect to see some experimentation. Expect to see some things that aren't quite the same style as I do, because it's really hard to do the same style between different mediums. Exactly. There's some hallmarks, but exactly. And yeah, we're going to take these dark times, and we are going to take them as an opportunity to experiment, have a little bit of fun, and produce some things that I didn't think that we would be doing. Keep saying we. Most of the time it is me, except in the case of Thistle and Bard Adventures. So yeah, thanks very much for listening to this rather awkward ramble and getting the update. I am going to, it is currently the morning, so I am going to spend today writing a blog. So there will be a new blog up. I'm going to spend today writing a blog, doing a few little tidy up and updates, because yet again, I need to update the postage situation for the US because it's changed. What's new? And so I need to do that. And then I'm going to start my little exploration and see where we go from there. And you guys can come along and join with me. In fact, please do come along and join with me. Otherwise, it's going to be a very lonely. It's going to feel very lonely. So yeah, thanks very much for listening. Do check in again soon because I really want to produce more. Hopefully, my voice has finished deciding whether or not it wants to be around, and you'll hear me clear my voice a lot. And I will see you next time, and you can hold me to that. There will be a next time. I will see you next time here, hopefully in this studio. And thanks very much for listening. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you again very soon. Hopefully. In this magical world, we can be